Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the social science class. Hope you all are doing well and staying fit and fine. So, students, in our last class, we discussed the topic education for commerce. That is the introduction of Wood's Dispatch in 1854, right? So, students, we basically discussed about the practical benefits of Wood's Dispatch as it was argued by the British officials. Along with that, we also discussed about the various suggestions or recommendations which were made by this dispatch. But students, in all this, have you ever thought what happened to the local schools which existed before the colonial period? We all know that before the Britishers came to India, we had schools in India, right? There were certain small schools in different regions. So have you ever thought what happened to such schools, the local schools? The condition of those schools before the colonial period and after the colonial period. So today we will analyze what changes took place in the local schools, the condition which existed in the pre-colonial period and the changes which were brought after the introduction of this new education system. All right. Well, students, your learning outcomes would be you all will be able to explain the system of education in India before the British rule. That means the condition of the local schools. All right. So students, this is a picture which very well depicts the condition of local schools in India which existed in the pre-colonial period. You can see people or students sitting under the shade of tree. There are practically no schools, no classes, no fixed uniforms, right? So this somehow depicts the concept of local schools which existed before the colonial period. So students, the report of William Adams. So William Adams, he happened to be a Scottish missionary. Missionary means a person who is sent to a different country with some religious mission, maybe to promote Christianity, okay. And when he visited India, he toured the districts of Bengal and Bihar in the year 1830s, okay. So he was asked by the company to prepare a report on the progress of education in the vernacular schools. So vernacular is a new word for you all. Vernacular means the local schools, okay, the schools in which the common dialect, that means the local language, is being spoken, okay. So vernacular schools basically means the local schools of various regions. So he was asked to prepare a report on what progresses have been made in those local schools, all right. And when he toured the districts of Bengal and Bihar, he found that there were over 1 lakh pathshalas in Bengal and Bihar. So you all know the meaning of pathshala. Pathshala is the Hindi form of school, Vidyalaya as we say. So pathshala is a school, all right. So he found out that those were small institutions with no more than 20 students each. That means one school consisted of hardly 20 students. But since the number of such schools, it was very large, the total number of children who were taught in these pathshalas, it was very large, over 20 lakh, all right. And students, these institutions were set up by the wealthy people of those times and sometimes by the local communities also, okay. And sometimes these institutions were set up by the guru himself, that is the teacher, all right. Now let us analyze the characteristic of the education system, that is of the pathshalas, all right. So students, the system of education in the local schools or in the pathshalas, it was very much flexible. There were no rigid rules and regulations, okay. There were no fixed fee. That means the parents were not required to pay a certain fixed amount of fee. In today, what happens in today's schools, everyone needs to pay an equal amount of fee, right, irrespective of the economic background, irrespective of the financial status. Every child's parents is required to pay the same amount of fees, right. But back in those days, in the Pathshalas, the parents were allowed to pay fees according to their paying capacity. Alright, so there were no fixed fee, there were no books, no printed books, there were no separate school buildings, okay, no benches or chairs, no blackboards as well, no system of separate classes, no roll call registers, no annual examinations, and no regular timetable. No such rules and regulations existed. All these things we can find in today's education system. So you can imagine the difference, right? And students, in some places the classes were held under a tree, mostly a banyan tree, okay, and in other places in the corner of the village shop, or maybe in the corner of a temple, or sometimes at the guru's home. Okay, so there was no school building, there were no classes. The classes used to be conducted mostly under the shade of a tree, sometimes maybe in the corner of a temple or a village shop, or sometimes at the guru's home. Okay, and students, as I have already told you, the fee that was required to be paid, it depended on the parents' income. The rich parents, they were required to pay more compared to the poorer ones. All right, and teaching was mostly oral. The teacher used to speak and the children used to listen. It was basically a lecture which was given by the teacher. Okay, and the guru decided what to teach, how to teach. Okay, the children, they were very passive, they were just passive listeners. They used to listen to what the guru said. Okay, so teaching method was completely oral. Okay, and the guru decided what to teach in accordance with the needs of the students. And students, the students in those days, they were not separated out into different classes. Like today we have class 5, class 6, 7, 8, then we have different sections as well. But back in those days, there was no such system. Okay, everyone used to sit together and the guru used to impart them the required lessons. Okay, the guru interacted separately with groups of children with different levels of learning. Suppose there are 20 children, everyone has a different intellectual capability, right? So the guru used to interact with them depending on their level of knowledge or capacity. All right, so students, when William Adam, he prepared the report, he discovered that this flexible system was in fact very much appropriate, or it suited to the local needs of the people. Why? Because students, during those days, classes were not held during the harvest time. Okay, because in the rural families, the children also used to help their parents during the harvest time. So this system was so flexible to meet the needs of the rural families. The classes were not held so that the children can also help the parents in their harvest. Okay, and after the harvest season was over, the Pathshalas, it started once again. Okay, and after the crops had been cut and stored, after everything was over, the Pathshalas restarted. So it was that flexible. So students, this meant that even children of peasant families could study. The time was very much flexible. The entire system, in fact, it was very much flexible. Children from a poor background, rich background, everyone, they sat together and studied. All right. But students, we all know that certain changes were brought by the British. For example, the Wood's Dispatch. So up to the mid 19th century, okay, the company was basically focused on higher education. Its entire focus was on higher education. Okay, so it allowed the local Pathshalas to function the way it used to function. Okay, no changes were made in the local Pathshalas because its main motive or its main focus was on the higher education. But students, after 1854, after the Wood's Dispatch was introduced, this time the company decided to improve the system of vernacular education. That means the company decided to bring some changes in the local schools as well. All right, so it felt that these changes could be brought only by introducing order within the system. Order means some kind of discipline, by imposing a fixed routine, establishing certain rules, and ensuring regular inspection. All right, so this kind of small changes were brought in the vernacular system of education. So now let us analyze the measures which were taken by the company. Okay, so the company at the very beginning appointed a number of government pundits. So they were in charge of looking after 4 to 5 schools. Each pundit was given charge of looking after 4 to 5 schools. Okay, the main function of the pandit was to visit the pathshalas and see the condition and try and improve the standard of teaching. Basically, to see how the teacher is teaching, what can be done in order to improve the teaching learning process. All right, and after that they were asked, that means the gurus were asked to submit reports, periodic reports on a regular basis, and take classes according to a regular timetable. All right, teaching was now to be based on textbooks. That means in the earlier times there were no printed textbooks, but now textbooks were introduced. Okay, so the teaching system was required to be based entirely on textbooks, and learning was to be tested through a system of annual examinations. That means examinations were started to be held. Initially there were no examinations, right? So everyone used to sit together. There was no division of classes. But with the imposition of these new rules and regulations, examinations started to be held. All right, and the students were also asked to pay a regular fee now, attend regular classes. The class time was fixed, the fee was fixed. They were required to sit on fixed seats. Fixed seats were allotted to them, and also they were required to obey the new rules and the new set of regulations. All right, so various changes were brought in the system of local schools, in the vernacular system of education, or in the pathshalas. Understood? So students, these pathshalas which accepted the new rules were supported through government grants. If you remember, in the last class only I told you that grant or financial help was given to certain schools which followed the company's rules and regulations. So these pathshalas, some of them which followed the rules and regulations of the company, that means the British government, they were given financial help by the government. Okay, and those who were unwilling to work as per the company's rules and regulations, they received no government support in terms of financial help. All right, and students, over time, the gurus who wanted to retain their independence, that means the gurus who wanted to teach in the previous way, they found it very difficult to compete with the government aided and regulated pathshalas. Because what happened, some pathshalas, they started to follow the rules and regulations of the company, so they started receiving financial help. But then there were pathshalas where the gurus were unwilling to follow the company's rules and regulations. So such pathshalas found it very difficult to compete with the ones which were receiving grants or financial help. Okay. The other consequences of these new changes. Let us find out what were the effects of these new changes which were brought. So students, in the earlier system, children from poor peasant families had been able to go to pathshalas since the timetable was flexible. It suited their harvest time. It suited the entire process of agriculture, isn't it? They could help their parents, they could look after their siblings, and still they could attend the classes. But now, since rigid rules and regulations were imposed, it became difficult for the children from poor families to attend their classes. Then students, the discipline of the new system, it demanded regular attendance, even during harvest time, when children of poor families had to work in the fields, which was practically not possible for them. Okay, and inability to attend school came to be seen as indiscipline. It was considered as indiscipline if the children, they were unable to attend the school during the harvest season. And it was considered as an evidence of the lack of desire to learn, and it was believed that that particular children is not having the desire or the willingness to learn. Okay, so these were some of the drawbacks which were associated with these new changes. Children from the poor families, children belonging to agricultural families, they found it very difficult to cope up with this new system of education. Well, students, today we discussed some new words, or we came across some new words or some important words. One is missionary. Missionary means some people who are sent with some religious mission mostly to promote Christianity. All right. Second is the Pathshala. Pathshala means the Hindi version of the word school. Okay. And Guru. Guru means the teacher, the one who gives us knowledge. All right. Well, students, these are your homework. Question number 1. After 1854, the company decided to improve the system of vernacular education. It felt that this could be done by introducing order within the system, imposing routines, establishing rules, ensuring regular inspection. How was this to be done? What measures did the company undertake? So everything is very nicely given in the textbook. You kindly frame your answer accordingly. All right. The system of education was flexible. Discuss keeping in mind the report of William Adam in the 1830s. So here the question is basically pointing to the system of Pathshalas before the changes were introduced. No fixed fee, then no regular classes, no school building, then no examinations, etc. All right. Then who was William Adam? Just a 1-mark question. All right. So students, you need to do these questions as usual and submit by tonight 9 p.m. as usual. And in case you have any doubts, do let me know. And thank you so much. See you all in the next class. Have a nice day.